I'm a sort of lawyer by background, so I mean I'm not involved directly in technology, but I've worked with technology companies for over 20 years and passionate really about trying to ensure that girls and young women get opportunities right across the board, whether it's legal, technology, whatever. And one of the hats that I wear is I'm a non-exec director of a company that develops software. And I was speaking to the COO of that company, who is a chap, but he has 2 daughters, and he's really passionate about ensuring that they get chances and they get the same chances as his sons are getting. And he works in Gibraltar, and they were looking at setting up a chapter of what's called Girls in Tech in Gibraltar. And Girls in Tech is international, but based originally in Silicon Valley in the US. So we looked at maybe setting up a Girls in Tech chapter in the Isle of Man. I got a number of kind of like-minded women together from lots of different businesses, so not just Appleby, but Continent 8, Hansard, Domicilium, the college, SMP, Barclays, Peggy & Mills, Manx Marketing Exchange, and apologies if I've missed anybody out. But they were just a fabulous group of women who just wanted to do the same thing. But we kind of thought that it might be nice just to do something that was uniquely for the Isle of Man and trying to deal uniquely with what we thought were the challenges on the island. So rather than have a kind of Girls in Tech chapter, we decided just to do something slightly different. And it's very much aligned to that. So it is about making sure that girls get opportunities, that we provide mentors, that they feel that they can enter things like the Code Club. They're not just exclusively for boys. So I said it was sort of late last year, we kind of got together and started to talk about it. And that's when we started speaking to the Brownies, because we'd heard that they wanted to offer the computer badge to all of the Arbury Brownies, of which I think there's 30 of them. And we thought, well, that's just a fabulous opportunity to start doing this. And it was just a case of let's just try it and see what happens. It's not particularly formal. We meet about once a month. Microgaming very kindly let us use their facilities roughly about once a month. And because of the hard work and the dedication and the passion of those women, it's become really exciting. And I'm just delighted to be involved in it. It's fabulous.
Before we go in to find out what actually happens at the workshops, I'm going to go back on something you said in the first part of what you're talking about, because you said you wanted it to be something uniquely Isle of Man because of the different challenges here. In what way does the island differ to other places that might be doing something like this?
I mean, although I said that, I think, yeah, to a certain extent, the UK has the same challenges as well. But what we didn't want was something that was slightly being dictated to us. And that we could actually then work with local organisations, whether it was the Brownies or the college or the schools or whatever, and actually say to them, look, what are the challenges you're finding for the girls on island? Is it because they're finding it difficulty in participating in A-levels or deciding what they want to do, and at what point or at what stage are they actually kind of turned off from technology? So, I mean, I wouldn't like to kind of say that there's particular issues for the Isle of Man that there isn't, that don't exist anywhere else. And in fact, I think probably as a woman in business on the Isle of Man, I've had many more opportunities here than I think I would have had in the UK. So, it's a very positive place, I think, to be a woman and a woman in business. We just want to make sure that, as I said, we then share that with girls in technology as well and tailor it specifically for the Manx environment. That's what we're trying to do.
I like what you said about the fact that you want to get girls thinking about doing things like coding, because I think there is a traditional image which we're all battling against, really. I'm just thinking about, like, any films that have touched on this. It's always the teenage boy sitting on his computer sort of tapping away, isn't it? And I would just wonder how you deal with that. And I mean, that's not Isle of Man centric. I mean, that's a global thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I mean, I think kind of geek chic and stuff like that kind of helps. My little niece who's 10, she's got a T-shirt that says that, and she's really proud to be interested in science. And I think that in a way that we probably wouldn't have had 10 years ago. So I think all of that helps. But it's also just tailoring the language and the environment to girls, and recognising the challenges that if they walk into a code club and it's all boys, that's fine, that's not wrong, and we're not trying to be exclusive, and that's partly why we didn't want the word girls in our title, because it's not about excluding the boys, it's just about making sure that there are opportunities for the girls that are the same as the boys, so that if they walk into a coding club, and the coding club here is fabulous, and we've worked a lot with it and it's helped us a lot, and they themselves, they wanted to help us, and they want to encourage more girls. But kind of being conscious that's quite difficult for a young girl to do. So how can we make that easier? Is it about her mum being with her? Is it about just having an event that's just for girls, at least to try it out and see, get them more comfortable? So, we're trying to do lots of different things, but as I said, we're not trying to exclude the boys. That's not what it's about. It's about trying to be as inclusive as possible.
I love the fact that you do these sort of the mother and daughter workshops as well, because then when they get home, they can both sort of continue discussing and continue learning, and the mum has a much better grasp then of technology too, which I suppose, sort of our generation and above are maybe less technological than the kids at the end of the day, aren't we?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And again, the idea for that came from Owen at the Code Club, because again, he was really keen that girls get involved. And he said, look, it might be easier for girls initially if they came with their mums, or if they came with an older sister or a chum or whatever. And wouldn't it be fabulous if you could do an event just for, mums and girls? And again, we're not trying to exclude dads or anything like that. It's just about us starting this process and finding our way and adding to the events. So our first events were around sort of, young girls and their mums, and working with technology and trying to use technology in a kind of creative way, because I think that's where the women are really, that's where women and girls are really good at. And I've seen that even, as I said, with the company that I'm involved with that does software development, a lot of the developers are women because they are very good. They've got a very good creative side. So, that's why we've decided to do those events initially. And then from that, the work with the brownies.
Interesting. We just had a text in saying the first computer programmer was female, Lady Ada Lovelace.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we'd like to do is to educate everyone actually, to sort of say, that there are women who've been involved in these sectors for a long time, and really sort of focus on role models, because that's what it's all about. It's about providing these role models for young girls, whether it's other women in the Isle of Man who are in business, whether it's historical figures, Marie Curie, all of these women who've been involved in science, and just saying to girls, you can do this.
Now, you've mentioned Code Club a couple of times. For those of us that don't know, can you just explain what that is?
Yeah, I mean, it's a group. I think they meet every Saturday, and it's not for profit. And what they do is just try and teach kids how to actually code software. So they're looking at it from a very technical perspective, but in a way that's actually fun for kids. And again, I think historically that's been seen as kind of a boys' domain, and that's why they're trying to make it a little bit more creative and find new ways of getting new members.
Mentioned all the events. I mean, where can people find out what's going on and how they can get involved?
We've got a Facebook page that they can access, and that we send out various things on social media, or they can contact any of the committee members. And I don't know if you can put sort of details on your website or whatever, but the more people who interact with us and the more people get involved, the better.
You've got a special launch event coming up on July the 14th. Tell us about that.
That's right. Yeah, because we've had so many events, we thought actually it would be really nice just to have one big launch event that lasts for a number of hours, and that's on the 14th of July in the new sort of Barclays Eagle Lab, which I've not seen it yet, but I think that's going to be a fabulous space and a great place to have it. And what we're trying to do is just make it as open as possible. So there might be some registration required, but if people don't register and they're walking past on the day and they think, wow, that looks fun, then please just come in and look at the technology. Owen from the Code Club will be there. The VR headsets will be there. The little sphero balls that you can program and you can code, things like that.
The what
that you
now?
can play with. Sorry?
The what now? Sphero balls.
Sphero balls, yeah, they're fabulous little things. They're about the size, you can get them in different sizes. The ones we use are about the size of a ping pong ball, and you can work them from your phone. So you download an app onto your phone, and then you can make them work from that, and you can actually then, it can become more advanced, and you can actually then code them to do different things, and they change colour and all that kind of thing, and you can race them or they can go around,
Ooh, I heard that and I just thought, that's for me.
Competition.
Yeah, so we did that with the brownies actually, and they loved that, and then the VR headsets are fabulous as well. So, fun things so that kids realise actually technology is all around them, so it's not just that, they're not just sitting behind a computer and just coding and doing that kind of what they might think is dry stuff every day, but this technology has a use. So whether it's in games or it's in apps or whatever it is, actually they can get involved in technology right across the board. So a bit of fun as well. So that's on the 14th of July, so please come to that.